welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today, I get to make zucchini bread. I've got all my stuff already kind of prepped and ready to go. We've been under construction this morning. It was very loud and dusty, so I had to wait till we were all done and everything's cleaned up and ready to go. So I am excited. Zucchini season is right around the corner, and some of you are already picking, depending on what part of the world and what part of the country you're in. This is organic zucchini that I get at the store. I absolutely adore zucchini. And I've got some growing in the greenhouse, but I don't know if it's gonna come to fruition or not. We're having trouble with the panels on the front of the greenhouse. So we're gonna replace them. It's not letting enough light in, if that makes sense. So, but we've got tomatoes going in there, so you would think I should be able to get everything else I want. All right, I'm going to mix up my zucchini bread, and I'll bring you in close so you can see what happens. All right, and I'll give you a couple variations for this recipe. I was looking on my channel, and over the years, I've done so many versions of zucchini bread. This is my go-to to come back to. It's my grandkids' favorite, and my family, my kids grew up with this one. So the only difference is I'm putting in pistachios and golden raisins. All right, come on in. Okay, so we are ready to get started. And I'm gonna start with 2 eggs, 2 room temperature eggs. And actually, I'm going to do my dry ingredients first. Sorry. I went, because all of the pantry stuff is downstairs in the basement now, because we're tearing out the kitchen. It's going to be a little bit of a transformation, but you guys, if you're patient with me, you'll love the end result. Okay, 2 cups of flour in here, all-purpose flour. 1 cup of, well, 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. All together now. All right, and I'm going to take my Danish whisk, and that's all you need for this recipe is a Danish whisk. And you're just going to kind of get that mixed up. We're going to need a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a brand new container of baking powder. I just figured I'd bring up this and leave it upstairs while I still have kitchen cabinet to put spices and that kind of stuff in. So, okay, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, or baking powder, sorry. Baking powder, baking soda, 1 of each. And 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm using fine grained sea salt. So if you use kosher salt, you're going to use a little bit more, but for this, for balance, to balance that sweet, I just really like to do that. And then for any of your baked goods or breads, this is amazing. It's a diastatic, malt powder. It doesn't make it taste like malt or anything, but it helps the leavening, it helps your the texture of your baked goods, everything. 1 teaspoon of that, and it's 1 teaspoon. I'll leave a link to this down in the description for you. 1 teaspoon of the malt powder for every 3 cups of flour. So we're doing 1 teaspoon. And now we can whiskey. You can use a hand mixer for this, but you don't need to. I also am replacing 1 cup of this sugar with pistachio pudding. So this would have had double the sugar. Or not double, but it would have had another cup of sugar. So pistachio pudding, and who doesn't love pistachio pudding? It doesn't take over, but it makes the most moist, delicious zucchini bread. You're gonna love this. And I want this to make 2 loaves. So get that all whisking together. You're gonna need those 2 eggs. Now that we've got our dry ingredients all done. And look at these beautiful fresh eggs from 2 doors down. I get my eggs right here and clean that up. Okay. And we need vanilla, and I measure with my heart. Vanilla is one of those things. So, and I do a fair amount, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You need that. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna want it. And you're gonna wanna get this whisk in. And now we're gonna measure our zucchini, and I need buttermilk. Just a little bit of buttermilk. Let me get a different measuring cup here, and we'll get the buttermilk in. And I'm making more buttermilk. If you guys want to know how to make buttermilk at home, let me know, and I'll do a video for you. It's super easy. And I'm not buying it again because I've got a way to do it myself, so I don't have to buy buttermilk ever again. What? And I always have it in the fridge. And buttermilk makes baked goods sing. I also need oil. So you're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of a neutral oil. Vegetable oil is what I'm using. Okay. And 3/4 of a cup, so that was a 1/2 cup measure. We'll go 1 1/2 of those. And this also, you could replace that. I have a recipe where I replaced some of the oil with banana. You could also replace it with applesauce, and I've done that before. Okay, now you're gonna get a really thick batter here. Oop, there's the oven. Preheat your oven to 350, because that's what you're gonna need for this. Okay. This is going to be the most delicious, moist. Okay, now we need 3 cups of zucchini. 1, 2, grated zucchini. And like I said, I get my organic. Oh, wow. I did that just perfect. I was hoping I was going to have enough for a fritter or 2 for lunch, but that's perfect. We don't need any more than that. And get that out of my way. Rinse my hand off. Okay, here we go. Let's get this all mixed in, and feels like I'm gonna need more buttermilk, so I'm gonna grab some out of the fridge and add that in. So we'll look at a cup of buttermilk. Okay, now that I've mixed in my other cup of buttermilk, this is what it should be, a thick but wet batter, okay? Now, it is time. So, and it's a forgiving recipe. If you want to interchange something else out of there, feel free. Okay, you don't have to put this in. I've got a 1/2 cup of raisins and a 1/2 cup of pistachios that I also measured with my heart. So, this is going to make this fruity and delicious. Okay, whew, I'm super excited. And it does the pistachio pudding, and of course the green zucchini makes this cake or this sweet bread have a little bit of a green hue to it, which is just fine. You could change this up and make it a chocolate zucchini. Add chocolate chips instead of the pistachios and you don't have to add the pistachios. Quite typically, when my kids were growing up, I did not add pistachios or raisins because, well, it was more frugal to do it this way. So I've got a large bread pan, a loaf pan here that I've sprayed with nonstick spray, and I'm just going to get a spatula so I can manage this because, you know, I'm never ready for the game. Go ahead and put some in, try to split it in half as best you can. We'll toss that one over there and this one over here. And I'm hoping these pans aren't too big because I would like kind of a lofty zucchini bread, but okay. Hopefully you can see what's going on there. Okay. And I don't want to miss out on any of that. We paid for all of that, right? I am so excited for zucchini season. So ultimately it would be great if these were 3/4 of the way full, but obviously one of them could have been, and the other one would have been way less. So if I had another pan that I could use, I would have, but everything is packed. So, okay. These are going in a 350-degree oven until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. And it usually takes about an hour. So I'll see you in an hour. Hey guys, so it's time to cut into this. It went an hour and 5 minutes. So at 350 degrees. Not a big deal. We're gonna make sure that, hey, we got it. Oh, maybe I'll move this back a little bit. So this loaf, I tried to get it out of the pan too soon, and it pulled some of the bottom off. I put it onto a piece of parchment paper, and it seems to be holding together. So that's the one we're gonna cut into first, as you can see. Okay, yeah, it melded back together just fine, just fine. And then the other one will be for sharing. So let's just scoot this over to my little cutting board. And we're gonna, I like the corners because the corners and the edges get crispy. So delicious. Mind you, okay. The pieces that fell apart are still gonna fall apart, but look there's your crumb. Yummy. Oops, and I got pieces falling. We aren't gonna care. Typically, how I have it is with some butter. So we're gonna grab a little bit of butter right here and smear that on. This is how I like it. Lots of butter. And we'll give you a taste test. There we go, guys. That crispy edge is so good. And the interior, You'd never know you're eating healthy. With the pistachios and the golden raisins, absolutely wonderful. I hope you try this. I hope it inspires you to make some zucchini bread this season. It uses up a little bit of your zucchini, and you can actually add up to 4 cups of zucchini in that recipe and still be just fine. There's a lot of this going in the freezer. For down the road. Yeah, this is wonderful. Sorry. I should stop eating on camera. And I can't wait to see you next time. You can put a glaze on this. I like a lemon glaze on this, but you really don't have to. This stands alone on its own. It is absolutely divine. So I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that it inspires you to leave me a comment and let me know if you make zucchini bread. And yeah, I might have been able to do that all in one loaf and maybe a mini loaf pan. So next time, those bigger loaf pans I'm not used to because my cast iron ones are smaller. So just know that this recipe would be for the 2 smaller cast iron pans. But if you're going to do a big loaf pan, you could probably get away with just one loaf pan of it. And it'd be that tall. Okay. I'll see you next time for another delicious recipe. I'll leave the recipe down below. Don't forget, just look in the show notes. So guys, if you like this sort of stuff, I hope you'll subscribe and you'll give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out.